Today we're not strictly gonna talk about theories. I won't point out the fact that it makes no sense how the Nails now descended before Nibelung came back, or how Columbina's authority couldn't leave the lunar palace but somehow still ended up on the moon, or how the moon is now under the fake sky while it really looks like it's definitely not, or the other apparent inconsistencies that came out in Luna 4. Today we're gonna talk about and deeply analyze the Traveler and Dottore, but first, this is a theory video and leaks are prohibited in the comment section. I will use information available in the game, but my theories and conclusions are not to be considered the official lore of the game, unless I got something right and it's confirmed in a later update to the game itself. Well then, let the moonlight come in, maybe just open the window instead of breaking it, and let's get this video started.
How long will it be before they start to treat you like the alien you are?
Alien?
Shocking revelation, the Traveler is an alien, who would have thought? This is one of those cases in which something is so obvious from the very start that we never even think about it, even though the spaceship has been repeatedly mentioned in the past 6 updates, but that's not exactly all there is to it. Dottore brought up some hard truths that neither the Traveler nor we could really deny, and that's how the Traveler never really cared about Teyvat until now. Think about it, we got caught in what was happening in Mondstadt, so we helped them with the Dvalin situation, but in the end we asked the people for help in finding Lumine, and we also needed to learn some common knowledge about the world, which our expert guide had no idea about. In Liyue, we were in the wrong place at the wrong time, so we ended up getting mixed in the whole thing because we needed to clear our name, and in the end we still asked for help in finding Lumine. Then came Inazuma, and here the Traveler showed his true colors for the first time. He had no interest in joining the resistance, he couldn't care less about what would have happened to the people because our only goal was to meet the Shogun to see if she was the unknown god, and siding with her enemies wasn't exactly the smartest choice. We only helped them because Ayaka showed us the consequences of losing a vision and it was just too cruel, but also because Ayaka promised to introduce us to the Shogun. Then came Sumeru, we befriended Dunyazard, and then we got stuck in the Samsara, so we were forced to help, especially with Dunyazard's life on the line, but in the end we finally got something about Lumine, although it didn't really make much sense. Fontaine was similar to Sumeru, we befriended Lini and Lynette, they helped us with Furina's stupid laws, and then the accident happened and we just had to help Lini, so we got sucked into the events, but in the end the people of Fontaine saved themselves, we just played along and acted as witnesses. Same goes for Natlan, we befriended Kachina, nice kid full of life, and then she got kidnapped by the Abyss, so we just had to help. Natlan though is also where the Traveler's true colors showed up again, and pretty hard. This was the most shocking question he could have ever asked, but that's exactly who Aether and Lumine are. Lumine was considered and treated as a princess and a savior by the Carians, she enjoyed the life she had, but as soon as she found out about Aether, she abandoned them so easily it was disgusting. Similarly, if Lumine had told Aether that she wanted to leave Teyvat with him once again, he would have accepted in a split second and goodbye Teyvat, was nice meeting you all, but you're on your own from now on. The Traveler has always made it clear that his only goal was to find Lumine. He did help the people of Teyvat, he worked for the Adventurers Guild, which is apparently owned by Pantalone, to get the mora he needed to live, and he made some friends, but at the end of the day, like Dottore said, it was all about mutual benefit mixed with his own idea of having to be the savior and the hero, even though he has no duty toward Teyvat at all, nor has Teyvat ever really forced him to play that part. No one has ever told him to be the hero, people only ever asked for help, but he always had the choice to simply decline. I mean, Mawika desperately needed his help. She was aware that she couldn't have saved Natlan even by sacrificing her own life, but she still made it clear that it had nothing to do with the Traveler and that he could have refused to help. When Dottore slapped him with this truth, the Traveler simply couldn't deny it, nor could he trick him or himself by acting as the hero no one ever asked him to be. And when Dottore reminded him that he is an alien, someone who doesn't belong to Teyvat, and also someone who can't really be understood or empathized with because his experiences go beyond what the humans and even the gods can fully comprehend, he had to face the fact that he's never been one of them. To be completely honest, I think he decided to go above and beyond to help Columbina because she is the closest being to what he is, since her origins as a moon goddess are rooted on the moon, so in space, not just Teyvat. Dottore though made a mistake when he said that the Traveler's friends don't care about his true desire, because they do care. They showed empathy towards his loneliness and they try to help even though no one knows how to even start looking for Lumine. But then again, you need to know what feelings are to make an educated guess, so Dottore's mistake was unavoidable since he's never cared about anyone but himself, and that's the only reason why he never managed to fully manipulate the Traveler to probably steal his descender status. But this mistake also eventually led the Traveler finally realize that Teyvat has indeed become his home, that he does belong despite still being an alien. When it comes to Dottore, we do realize that we've never really met nor fought against him and that he is still alive, right? The guy we fought was the last surviving segment from the Sumeru Archon quest, the Omega build, and these segments were created using both pieces of Zandik and the same technology A used to build Scaramouche and the Raiden Shogun, so that each of them would represent Zandik's perspective at different stages of his life, which automatically means that Zandik's real body is somewhere in Snezhnaya, desperately hanging on to life despite being 500 years old. Now, although Zandik is literally Nagato from Naruto Shippuden and Dottore is not only pain but also a pain, this is not what I wanna focus on. Dottore asked the Traveler a very interesting question he never actually answered. Why did we befriend and help Arlecchino, Child, Capitano and Sandrone, but we don't want to have anything to do with him? The Harbingers are criminals. They have an extensive list of crimes to their names, except for Columbina because she has never been sent on a mission, but there's one specific difference between them and Dottore. Everything Arlecchino does is for her children. She would even betray and fight the Tsaritsa in a heartbeat if she tried to harm them. Child is a psychopath and a battle junkie, but he follows the Tsaritsa because she promised to bring about a peaceful world in which Child's family, his younger siblings above all, could live without fear. Capitano's only goal was to find a way to save the Conrian and Nathanie's souls he was carrying in his heart even at the cost of his life. Sandrone is harder to figure out. We'll have to wait for her to come back to life in Fontaine since she is the missing silhouette with the reflection, but she did sacrifice herself to save Columbina, her friend. They are criminals, but they chose this path to save someone else. Their life goal is selfless. Dottore instead, it's all about him. It's him against the world, his desire to become a god, or something similar to the Heavenly Principles themselves, and he wanted to defy fate, most likely to become a primordial human, the version of humanity that existed under the moon goddesses before the laws shackled the world and its inhabitants with fate and above all death. He uses people for his own gains, and even when he eventually discards them, he does so in a way that their end would still give him something useful to work with. I mean, he even tried to trick Columbina into thinking he considered her a little sister and family just to get her powers. He is the definition of selfishness. He has no redeeming qualities, mainly because he couldn't even care about having any of them to begin with, because they're useless for his goal, which again most likely has something to do with his main body that has gone way past its expiration date and would eventually have to deal with erosion unless he rises above the world itself and breaks free from fate. Now, I think Dottore is the only real villain of the story so far, one that doesn't have any way of getting a redemption arc, or at least I really hope he doesn't get one like Scaramouche. Think about it, the devs have been trying to make us believe that the Heavenly Principles are the main enemy of the story, but we also know that we've always heard one side of the story, the victim side, so Lumine, the Carians, the Unified Nation, the Angels, the Moon Goddesses, the Dragons, but we are fully aware that there's something missing that only the Heavenly Principles can and will reveal to us, the twist in the story that will turn them into an entity who has always cared about that, which is still intact because of their extreme countermeasures, by the way. When it comes to Dottore instead, we heard the victims first, like Collei, then we met him and we realized that he was indeed a psychopath, and then we realized that it was even way worse than we initially thought. He is something we need to hate and that wants to be hated because he is a true villain, and hopefully he will keep being so until the very end. He is technically the only truly realistic character in this game, because he has no reason nor does he wish to change, redeem himself or ask for forgiveness. He is rotten to the core and he is proud of it. He is realistic because in the real world not everybody cares about turning a new leaf, just like everybody seems to keep doing in Teyvat. And that's it, I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and if you're interested in ShadowXImpact theory videos, consider subscribing. My next video will cover the inconsistencies in the story that emerged in Luna 4, and we will try to figure out the moon, the fake sky, and the whole mess that comes with them. Well then, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, over and out.